Good morning, fifth graders. This is Ms. Grant with your online lesson 12, day 1, March 16th. Today we're going to be going through our iReady packet that hopefully you picked up from the school or at Walmart on Old National. If you have your packet, go ahead and open it to the first page. This lesson is about comparing text structures, chronology, and problem solution. In this lesson, you'll read science articles about space and compare and contrast the text structures of those articles. A text structure is the way the author organizes ideas and information. The proper organization can highlight key concepts and relationships that are important for the reader to understand. Imagine that you're going to write a report. You're writing this report on clean energy. If you want to highlight the development of clean energy sources over time, you might provide dates and descriptions for each discovery in the order that it happened. However, if you want to emphasize clean energy as a solution, you might begin by describing the damage done by harmful pollutants from other energy sources. Passages can have different text structures. These text structures help authors accomplish specific purposes. The first text structure that we're going to talk about is called chronological text structure. It tells events in the order that they happen. This structure can include dates, times, and words such as first, next, and later. The second text structure we're going to examine is problem-solution text structure. It describes problems and solutions. This text structure can include words such as challenge, problem, and solution. Comparing texts can help you understand their structures and purposes. So I'm going to model for you on what you're going to do later in the packet. We're going to read the passages below, and we're going to look for evidence of the structure and the purpose of each one of the passages. Passage 1. The Space Shuttle Discovery made its first flight in 1984. In 1990, Discovery launched the Hubble Space Telescope. In 2011, after 30 missions, Discovery was taken out of service. Discovery then became a display at the National Air and Space Museum. Now I want you to think about what structure the author used in writing this. Was it chronological? Did it give us things in order? Or was it problem and solution? Did it give us a problem and tell us how the problem was solved? Let's read passage number 2. And as I'm reading passage number 2, I want you to ask yourself those same questions. Did it give us events in order, or did it give us a problem and then give us the solution to that problem? Passage number 2. Like us, astronauts use ordinary toothpaste, a toothbrush, and a little bit of water. The challenge, however, is that they don't have a sink for rinsing out their mouths. Their solution? They spit toothpaste into a washcloth. Again, ask yourself, are they giving me the events in order from the first to the last, or did they present me with a problem and then they gave me the solution to the problem? I'm going to ask myself, okay, going back through these passages, first I'm going to look at passage 1. I see dates. And if I go back to the top of my passage, it says that chronological order gives events in order that they happen. It can include dates, times, and words such as first, next, and later. If I go down to my passage 1, I see dates, 1984, 1990, 2011. Then it says that problem and solution gives me a problem and then tells me how it's solved. Passage 1 doesn't really give me any type of problem. So I'm going to say that passage 1 is chronological order. I'm then going to look at passage 2 and ask myself the same thing. It talks about astronauts using toothpaste, toothbrush, and a little bit of water so they can brush their teeth. The challenge. I know that from reading my description, it says that problem and solution may include the words challenge. Challenge means that there may be a slight problem or something that I might have to work through. The challenge, what might they have to work through in this passage? They don't have a sink for rinsing out their mouths. What are they going to do? I see the word solution. In my description, it tells me that problem and solution also uses words like problem, solution. What is the solution to their problem of not having a sink? They spit toothpaste into a washcloth. So I am going to say passage 1 is chronological order and passage 2 is problem and solution. I am going to take what I just learned or what I just talked myself through, and I am going to fill in my chart. It asks me, what do you know about text structures? Use the chart below to help you compare and contrast the text structures and purposes of the passage. I know that compare means I'm going to tell how they are alike, and contrast tells me how they are different. So passage number 1, if I go back and look, was about the Space Shuttle Discovery and when it made its first flight. What was the author's purpose of this? The author was giving me some information on the space shuttle that was called Discovery, and it told me about this space shuttle and what it did over time. So I'm going to say the author's purpose was to tell me about the shuttle Discovery. The text structure, because of the clue words, I'm going to go back and look at my passage. It gave dates, and my description up here tells me that it gives dates. I'm going to say that this text structure is chronological order. Then it asked me for evidence of the structure. We know what that means. It means it wants us to go back in the text and give our text evidence. My text evidence are all of the dates that it gives. It made its first, which is a clue word, flight in 1984. It did something in 1990. It did something in 2011. After 30 missions, that tells me it did something else after it made 30 missions already. And it also tells me that Discovery then became. The word then lets me know that something happened after another event happened. So those will be the textual evidence that I will put in my chart here. Passage number 2. What is the author's purpose? I'm going to go back, and hopefully you're following along in your package. About the astronauts and their toothbrush and toothpaste, and they had water, but they didn't have a sink, and then they realized that they would just spit the toothpaste into their washcloth. So what was the author's purpose? I think the author's purpose was to explain how astronauts solved the problem of not having a sink when they brushed their teeth. So I am going to write that in my chart here. The text structure, it gave me a problem. We already said that the problem was that they didn't have a sink. It also gave me a solution. It told me that they spit their toothpaste into a washcloth. So I am going to say that this text structure is problem and solution. I am going to write that here in my chart. What is my textual evidence? I am going to go back to my text, and I see my signal word challenge. I see my signal word however, and I also see my signal word solution. That is what I am going to write in my textual evidence box. So that is the I do. I just walked you through what you would do if you were trying to determine text structure. So in your chart, I want you to go ahead and write down the answers that I gave you. When you tune in tomorrow for day 2, we're going to do a we do, meaning hopefully you'll be following along and answering along in your packet as I go. And then you're also going to complete a you do, meaning you're going to read a passage independently and fill in a chart and answer questions just like I modeled today. If you have any questions about what to do, please don't hesitate to contact me or Mr. Gray or Miss Williams or Miss Allen between the hours of 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. on our email. All right, see you tomorrow, 5th graders.